prayer in the field of silence, when the body remembers the mind. In the stillness where breath becomes the bridge between the visible and the invisible, where the heartbeat pulses in rhythm with the memory of the stars, a sacred truth begins to unfold. The body is not a machine but a mirror, not merely flesh but a field of memory. Here, in this field of silence, a new understanding begins to settle like mist over a quiet morning. The body remembers what the mind tries to forget. And in this remembering, health is either nurtured or undone. So breathe. Let the breath not just oxygenate your blood but awaken your awareness. Let it descend beyond thought, beyond story, into sensation, into the hum of life within you. Because the body is always listening. And it does not lie. It responds to your every emotion, to your every thought cloaked in feeling. It makes no distinction between what is real and what is relived in the imagination. It cannot separate the heartbreak from the memory of heartbreak, the betrayal from the fear of being betrayed again. To the body it is all the same storm. And so it reacts. It prepares. It protects. It endures. And over time, it forgets how to rest. This is the cost of unconscious living. The way emotions left unattended become chemistry and chemistry becomes condition. How the quiet drip of stress becomes the flood of disease. The field of silence reveals this not as punishment, but as pattern. Not as failure, but as frequency. For too long, the body has been asked to survive while the mind runs its endless loops of what was, or what might be. For too long, the sympathetic nervous system has stood guard at the gates, never told it was safe to stand down. We call this vigilance. We call this life. But the body calls it exhaustion. And yet, in the space between thoughts, where silence becomes medicine, a different choice emerges. The quantum field does not judge. It responds. It reflects. It records. It amplifies whatever signal is most consistent. And if we live in fear, it mirrors fear. If we live in guilt, it mirrors guilt. But what if we send out something different? What if, through deep feeling and conscious breath, we begin to teach the body something new? Something elevated? Because the body does not know time. It does not know that the danger is over. It only knows what we repeatedly feel. And so it obeys the past, unless we make the present more powerful. This is where the sacred work begins. Not in force but in feeling. Not in doing but in being. Start with awareness. Notice the moment the stress rises, not to fight it but to greet it. Notice the contraction in the gut, the tightness in the chest, the surge of chemicals the body deploys as defense. This is the residue of 1,000 remembered threats. Not because life is dangerous but because the body has been taught to expect danger. Now teach it something else. Whisper to it with breath. Rehearse safety with each exhale. Let your cells begin to feel what peace actually feels like. Let them taste joy like sunlight on the skin. Let them know what it means to dwell in gratitude, not just as an idea but as a living frequency. Because gratitude is not a polite response. It is a biological signal. It shifts the field. It raises the tide. Studies show that even a few minutes of genuine appreciation can elevate immunoglobulin A, the body's front line of defense. Imagine what could happen if we lived in that state. If we made elevated emotions our home, not our occasional visitor. And love. Love not as attachment or desire but as a state of coherence. When the heart beats in harmony with the brain, a powerful signal is emitted, measurable, magnetic, regenerative. This is not poetry. This is physics. This is the truth of the field. When you dwell in elevated emotion, the body receives a new signal, and the field begins to return that signal amplified. This is how we change, not by controlling the world but by commanding our inner state. The old mind, the one shaped by survival, will resist this. It is addicted to familiar feelings. It has rehearsed suffering so many times that it believes suffering is who you are. But you are not your pain. You are not your memory. You are the awareness that witnesses it. And from that place you can choose again. You can choose to sit in silence and feel love without needing a reason. You can practice joy like a muscle, not waiting for something good to happen, but making the feeling itself the event. You can show your body what it means to be free, even if it has been captive for decades. And you will not do this perfectly. That is not the point. The point is presence. The point is practice. Every time you choose calm over chaos, breath over reaction, wonder over worry, you rewire. You realign. You reclaim. You move from being the effect to being the cause. And yes, it will take time. Because the body has memorized the past so well that it has become the mind. But even that can be changed. The science is clear. Neuroplasticity does not end with age. The genes are not our destiny. Emotion is not just response, it is instruction. So feel wisely. Choose consciously. And when the old patterns whisper, invite them into stillness, into breath. Let them dissolve in presence. Let them die in love. Because this is not about suppressing emotion. It is about transforming the signal. It is about becoming the source of what you wish to receive. You cannot wait for healing to feel whole. You must feel wholeness to become healed. This is the paradox of transformation. This is the wisdom of the field. And in this field, the past does not rule unless we repeat it. The future is not random unless we live unconsciously. Everything begins inside. The body responds. The field listens. The universe echoes. So if you want a new life, begin with a new feeling. Anchor it in the body. Rehearse it every day. Teach your cells a new song, one of coherence, peace, and potential. Let your biology align with your belief. Let your hormones harmonize with your hope. Let your nervous system remember what it means to rest, to feel safe, to belong, to love. And let the quantum field do what it does. Mirror, magnify, and multiply the energy you embody. This is the work. Sacred, silent, slow. So breathe deeply. Feel fully. Rehearse with care. Choose with presence. And become the version of yourself that health has always been waiting for.